funded or church funded. The couple had been on the road for 18 days since leaving El Salvador, but they heard the news about presidential prospect Perry's move to send 100,000, or excuse me, I had a Freudian slip, 1,000 National Guard reservists to the already tightly guarded border. It's not tightly guarded. Listen to this bull. They decided to ditch their plan to cross at Eagle Pass, Texas, and take an 11-hour route. They're going to cross in New Mexico, they go on to say. And again, I'm not against these desperate people. I feel sad for them. But let me tell you, they're being brought in to crush this country and bring down the borders and will vote to take my guns and will vote to make me a slave. I was talking to a rock star who pays about 80% of his money in taxes one way or another. That's why a lot of rock stars and people just have stopped touring because they can't even make money. And folks tell them, well, 80% that you're paying, like that golfer out in California who complained and had to apologize, he's paying like 75%. 80% ain't enough. Now, Nicholson, you need to pay 100 like the middle class does in France. 100%. I'm sick of this slavery. Using our democratic system to bring in people to then vote to take my guns. And I told you this was coming. Again, General says guard to take observation role. We just played that clip, but they're going to observe and then help take the 911 calls to pick the people up in air-conditioned vans to take them to the Greyhound bus terminal. So, and, of course, to keep reporters from getting video of it. We've already had that go on. So that's what's happening. ICE has been begging for help, and sources say immigration agents believe the federal government is deliberately not giving them work. Yeah, they've been ordered to stand down. So that's a National Review article, and it's a whitewash. It's much worse than that. Pew Research report, nearly 90% of illegal immigrant children are teenagers. Migrant children and no-shows at Dallas immigration hearings. Dallas Morning News, oh my gosh, they get brought up there and get released out wherever they want. Oh, you're 11 years old. We'll just turn you over to some people you claim are your family. Oh, you're 14 years old. We're just going to... And there are no-shows. The U's were among 20 from Honduras in the first immigration hearing on the thousands that have been brought into Dallas from El Salvador and Guatemala. They were set to appear in federal immigration court Tuesday for initial deportation hearings, but they weren't there. They just didn't show up. They're part of 100,000 estimated to have come in this summer. Almost none show up. And that's the few that get given hearings. They're saying it's a 5-year waiting list, basically. Here's another article. Woman unwittingly fed sheltered MS-13 gang member. Yeah, right. Gang member receives handouts for attempting to proceed further inside the U.S. Attempting? And it's all part of destabilizing the whole country. And Democrats out there hate the Second Amendment and libertarians so much and want full political power. They are all licking their lips. Remember 6 months ago we had Veritas Project O'Keefe on, James O'Keefe, and he got clips at like 8 or 9 different areas in Texas where they openly are bragging. We're opening the borders. The state will be blue. We're taking over. And I mean, it's an operation, period. And the mission is bankrupt the state, just like California, get those guns. And they'll get them. It's their country. And they're using desperate people that can't even use, you know, the political system, don't even understand it. And it's, in every one of the clips, it was old white ladies up there just managing all, we're opening the borders. Just nothing but hardcore political opportunists who will get the political power out of this and manage the new political underclass. And that's the head of the major UC Davis department, Professor Yamamoto, who's been, you know, given Rockefeller Foundation awards and, you know, been part of that whole operation. An insider. That's what it is. And again, the Republican leadership won't say squat. I'm going to go to break and come back with your calls right into the bottom of the next hour, and we have a special guest joining us. And you're crazy, in my view, if you don't spread the word about this broadcast, the podcast, the free video feeds, everything that's at Infowars.com. Because we're just telling it like it is here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and talk to Erebus in Australia. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you?
Good, brother.
Yeah, I've been listening to you for quite a while, been watching from the shadows, all that kind of stuff. I've noticed Australia has signed onto the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and I do seem to recall a Some of Us petition, a whole lot of people throwing up a mad stink about it. And it does worry me. What does this mean for my country and the rest of the world that has signed those documents?
Well, our elites are so wonderful, and we're so free here in Western countries like Australia and the United States that there are 30 parts to that, and only a few of them have been leaked by Anonymous, which is probably Google, and that particular part of Anonymous. I'm not saying all of Anonymous is Google, but Google doesn't want internet restrictions yet because they're dominating the world right now with the free web. But insiders a few months ago leaked the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, but only the parts dealing with open web censorship, an end of free speech, web taxes, Chinese-style censorship. That's why the Chinese are signing on to it. We don't know what's in the other parts. They're reportedly even more nightmarish. But our president signed on to it. Your government's signing on to it, I know. And no one's allowed to know. Kind of like Bush signed on to the North American Union Agreement in 2005 at Baylor. There were photos of them signing the agreement, and they said it's secret. Well, we got part of it in the Banff, Canada meeting a year later via lawsuits, and it said North American Union using border crises and other things to bring in a world government. So they have to create a North American Union, Asian Union, European Union, and then bilateral agreements merging those, and then they tell the public, go to hell, you can't see the agreement. Doesn't that sound like authoritarian, autocratic tyranny to you, brother?
It sounds like absolute corruption, and I'll have you know I'm the founder of a Sydney-based metal band called Deranged Humanity. Every lyric of ours is very much political. I think it's from one of our songs, Bleed Out Light to Black. There's a lyric where it's politicians waging war, bleeding out the foreign poor. Is this the way you wish to die? Servants to the lie. And that's exactly what we're seeing today.
I mean, they just illegally spy on us. They just illegally put stuff in the vaccines. They illegally take blood at birth from Australia to here, all declassified for secret DNA databases. They just do whatever they want. It's a revolution by the political class and the corporate class against everybody. And they have us fighting over left, right, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. And again, it's a real fight because the Democrats in this country, and it's the same in Europe, have organized the minorities into a majority and have them trained on average to hate any liberty, associating it with white people. So it's a serious situation, and I don't know how to turn it around, but thank you for the call from Australia. Anything else? You want to take us out to break?
I would love to say thank you for having me on, and it's been an honor talking to you.
Good talking to you. I want to go down under sometime. Second hour coming up. Your calls. And a ton of news. I got through 2 stacks, which is pretty good. I got like 6 or 7 more. And we got breaking news at Infowars.com. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.